So before going to the distribution of quadratic forms, first what is the quadratic form? Let X be a n cross 1 column vector of variables and A be any square matrix of order n cross n. Then the function X transpose AX is said to be the quadratic form in X. Quadratic form is said to be positive definite if it assumes positive values only for all values of X. That means X transpose AX is greater than 0 for all X. Similarly, a quadratic form is said to be positive semi-definite if X transpose AX is greater than or equals to 0 for all X. For positive definite, it is exactly greater than, and for positive semi-definite, it may be greater than or it may be equals to 0. Similarly, a quadratic form is said to be negative definite if for all values of X, X transpose AX comes out to be negative. That means X transpose AX less than 0. And if X transpose AX assumes 0 value also, then that is called as negative semi-definite. That means a quadratic form is said to be negative semi-definite if X transpose AX is less than equals to 0 for all X. Any quadratic form X transpose AX is said to be indefinite if it may assume positive as well as negative values for some value of X. And any quadratic form in X, that is X transpose AX, can be expressed as X transpose BX, where B is a symmetric matrix. That means that any quadratic form can be written into the form of X transpose Bx, where B is a symmetric matrix. So further in lecture, I have taken A as symmetric matrix because for every quadratic form we can obtain a symmetric matrix. Now we come to the multivariate normal distribution. A random variable X is said to follow multivariate normal distribution with parameters mu and sigma if its probability density function is given by fx is equals to sigma to the power determinant of sigma to the power minus half 2 pi whole power p by 2 exponential minus half x minus mu transpose sigma inverse x minus mu. Now we come to its properties. Its expectation, or you can say expectation of variable x is equals to mu. That means distribution of mean is mu. Similarly, variance of x comes out to be sigma. That means variance of the distribution is sigma. The moment generating function of multivariate normal distribution is given by mxt is equals to e to the power t transpose mu plus half t transpose sigma t. By mistake, I have written it as mu t. It will be considered as t transpose mu. Similarly, the characteristic function of the distribution is given by phi xt is equals to e to the power minus e to the power mu t transpose mu minus half t transpose sigma t. And the most important property of multivariate normal distribution is that all the odd order central moments would always be 0. That means mu1 is equals to 0, mu3 is equals to 0, mu5 is equals to 0, so on. All odd orders moments will be 0. Another property, if random variable x is partitioned as x1, x2 vectors, then the marginal distribution of x1 and x2 will be multivariate normal. And in same manner, the distribution of x1 given x2 and x2 given x1 will also be multivariate normal. Now, non-central chi-square distribution we have already studied. We come to non-central chi-square distribution. we have already studied the central chi-square distribution, or you generally known it as chi-square distribution, where it is taken as only parameter considered in it is its degrees of freedom. But there may be more than one parameters also, that is degree of freedom, with some other parameters. That parameters are called as non-centrality parameter, and then distribution is called as non-central chi-square distribution. A random variable x is said to follow non-central chi-square distribution, which is also denoted by chi-square dash, if its probability density function is given by fx is equals to e to the power minus lambda summation k goes 0 to infinity lambda to the power k upon factorial k into x to the power n plus k minus 1 by 2 e to the power minus x by 2 upon 2 to the power k plus n by 2 gamma of k plus n by 2. Here lambda is called as non-centrality parameter of the distribution, and n will be the degrees of freedom for chi-square distribution. So it is a PDF of non-central chi-square distribution with n degrees of freedom and non-centrality parameter lambda. Every distribution has certain properties. So the properties of non-central chi-square distribution is that the mean of the distribution is n plus lambda. The variance of distribution is 2n plus 4 lambda. If xi follow chi-square with ni degrees of freedom and non-centrality parameter lambda I, then summation x and xi's are independently distribution, then summation xi will follow non-central chi-square distribution with summation ni's degrees of freedom and summation lambda I as non-centrality parameter. We can write non-central distribution as chi-square dash or chi-square within braces its degrees of freedom and non-centrality parameter both. So this notation chi-square dash and chi-square ni comma lambda I both are used for non-central chi-square distribution. Next is moment generating function of the distribution, which is given by mxt is equals to e to the power minus lambda 1 minus 1 minus 2 to t to the power minus 1 into 1 minus 2t whole power n minus n by 2. And if x follows normal with multivariate normal distribution with mean mu and variance covariance matrix as identity matrix, then x transpose x follows chi-square distribution with n degrees of freedom and non-centrality parameter of mu transpose mu. Now we come to another non-central distribution, which is called as non-central F distribution. And you have studied the F distribution, which is also called as central F distribution with 2 degrees of freedom only. That degrees of freedom was denoted by N1 and N2, or you can denote them by M and N. If we include same type parameter, which is called as non-centrality parameter in F distribution, then that is called as non-central F distribution. That means it have 3 parameters: first degrees of freedom, or you can say degrees of freedom of numerator, which is n1, degrees of freedom of denominator, which is n2, and non-centrality parameter lambda. So a random variable x is said to follow F distribution, which is also denoted by f dash, if its probability density function is given by fx is equals to summation k goes 0 to infinity e to the power minus lambda lambda to the power k upon factorial k into n1 upon n2 whole power n1 by 2 plus k into gamma of n1 plus n2 upon 2 plus k upon gamma of n1 by 2 plus k into gamma of n2 by 2 into f of k plus n minus f to the power k plus n1 upon 2 upon 1 plus n1 upon n2 f whole power k plus n1 plus n2 upon 2. It has with certain properties. The mean of distribution is n2 upon n2 minus 2 into 1 plus 2 lambda upon n1. The variance of the distribution is 2 n2 square upon n1 square into n2 minus 2 into n1 plus 2 lambda whole square upon n2 minus 2 into n2 minus 4 plus n1 plus 4 lambda upon n2 minus 4. If variable x1 follows non-central chi-square distribution with n1 degrees of freedom and non-centrality parameter lambda, and x2 follows chi-square distribution with n2 degrees of freedom, then variable v is equals to x1 upon n1 divided by x2 upon n2 will follow non-central f distribution with n1 and n2 degrees of freedom for numerator and denominator respectively, and non-centrality parameter f lambda. Now we come to the distribution of quadratic forms. First theorem states if x follows normal mu comma sigma, then expectation of x transpose ax will be trace of a sigma plus mu transpose a mu. For proving it, by the property of normal distribution, we know that expectation of x is equals to mu and variance of x is equals to sigma. Now using relation between raw and central moments, we can write expectation of x transpose is equals to sigma plus mu transpose. We know that variance of x is represented by expectation of x square minus expectation of x whole square. That means, or in matrix form, we can write it as expectation of x transpose minus expectation of x into expectation of x transpose whole square. So expectation of x into x, sorry, variance of x is equals to expectation of x transpose minus expectation of x into expectation of x transpose. So using that, sigma is equals to expectation of x transpose minus mu transpose. You can write expectation of x transpose is equals to sigma plus mu transpose. Now we can write using this relation expectation of x transpose ax is equals to expectation of trace ax transpose. It is already told to you when you were studying the generalized inverse that the trace of a quadratic form is x transpose ax is equals to trace of ax transpose is equals to x transpose ax. Using that, I have written expectation of x transpose ax is equals to expectation of trace ax transpose. Now trace A can be taken outside the expectation, so it will become trace of A expectation of x transpose. Now you expectation of x transpose is equals to sigma plus mu transpose. Using that, it will comes out to be trace A into sigma plus mu transpose, or it will become trace of A sigma plus trace of A mu transpose. Again, using the relation between trace and quadratic form, we can write it as trace of A sigma plus mu transpose A mu. So the mean of quadratic form x transpose ax when x follows normal mu comma sigma is given by trace of A sigma plus mu transpose A mu. Now another theorem, if x follows normal mu comma sigma, then covariance between x and x transpose ax is given by 2 sigma A mu. So for this we use the definition of covariance. Covariance of x and y, covariance between x and y is given by expectation of x minus expectation x into expectation of y minus expectation y. So using that, we can write covariance x and X transpose AX is equals to expectation of X minus mu into X transpose AX minus expectation of X transpose AX. So which will comes out to be again using the trace expectation of X minus mu into X transpose AX minus trace A sigma minus mu transpose A mu. So on solving it, we will obtain it as expectation of X minus mu into X minus mu transpose A X minus mu plus 2X minus mu transpose A mu minus trace A sigma. For converting the term X transpose AX minus mu transpose A mu into the form X minus mu transpose AX minus mu, 2X minus mu transpose A mu is added and subtracted in this term. Then taking the terms common, we will obtain it as X minus mu transpose AX minus mu plus 2X minus mu transpose A mu. Now multiplying this X minus mu outside the braces, then we will obtain it as expectation trace of A expectation of X minus mu into X minus mu into X minus mu transpose. As this X minus mu transpose A X minus mu is in the quadratic form of X minus mu, you can using trace again and obtain first term. Then second term will become expectation 2 times expectation of X minus mu into X minus mu transpose into A mu. And third term will become a trace of A sigma expectation of X minus mu. So the first term expectation X minus mu into X minus mu into X minus mu transpose is nothing but the third central moment of multivariate normal distribution, and by the property that all odd order central moments are zero, first term will become zero. Second term expectation of X minus mu into expectation into X minus mu transpose will give second central moment, which is equals to the variance of the distribution. So it will comes out to be sigma, and the complete term will become 2 sigma A mu. In third term, again expectation of X minus mu, which is first central moment of multivariate normal distribution. So it will again comes out to be 0. So we get expression 0 plus 2 sigma A mu plus 0. Or covariance of X transpose, covariance of X and X transpose AX will comes out to be 2 sigma A mu. Now third theorem states that if X follows normal mu comma sigma, then X transpose AX will follow non-central chi-square distribution with rank of A matrix A as its degrees of freedom and mu transpose A mu as its non-centrality parameter if and only if A sigma is idempotent. The non-centrality parameter here is written as mu transpose A mu, but the correct expression is mu transpose A mu upon 2. That means if X follows normal mu comma sigma, then X transpose AX will follow non-central chi-square distribution with rank of A as its degrees of freedom and half mu transpose A mu as its non-centrality parameter if and only if A sigma is idempotent. For proving it, we use the moment generating functions. The moment generating function, we know that X follows normal mu comma sigma. Then the moment generating function of X transpose AX is obtained in this condition. So mx transpose AX t is equals to, we know that moment generating function mxt is equals to e to the power t transpose mu fx dx integrated over complete range of the variable x. Using same, the moment generating function of x transpose ax is written, and from that sigma to the power minus half upon 2 pi minus n, 2 pi power n minus, sorry, sigma to the power minus half upon 2 pi whole power minus n by 2 taken outside the integration sign. Then remaining term will become integral minus infinity to plus infinity exponential t x transpose ax minus half x minus mu transpose sigma inverse x minus mu. Then on solving it, the term in the power of exponential, we will obtain t x transpose ax minus half x transpose sigma inverse x minus half mu transpose sigma inverse mu plus x transpose sigma inverse mu. On solving it, we will obtain it as determinant of sigma to the power minus 1 by 2 exponential minus mu transpose sigma inverse mu upon 2 pi whole power minus n by 2 integral from minus infinity to plus infinity exponential of minus half x transpose I minus 2 ta sigma into sigma inverse x plus mu sigma inverse x dx. Now using the lemma that for any vector G and positive definite symmetric matrix W, the integral exponential minus half x W inverse x plus gx is equals to 2 pi whole power n by 2 determinant of W power 1 by 2 exponential half G transpose WG. We can easily obtain this integration. Here W is taken as I minus 2 ta sigma into sigma inverse whole inverse. And G is taken as mu transpose sigma inverse. So we will obtain mx transpose ax is equals to determinant of sigma power minus half exponential minus half mu transpose sigma inverse mu upon 2 pi whole power minus n by 2 into 2 pi whole power n by 2 determinant of I minus 2 ta sigma inverse whole power minus half exponential half mu transpose sigma inverse I minus 2 ta sigma into sigma inverse, sorry, it will be half mu transpose sigma inverse into I minus 2 ta sigma inverse whole inverse into sigma inverse mu. Now we can consider the term exponential minus half mu transpose sigma inverse mu into exponential half mu transpose sigma inverse I minus 2 ta sigma into sigma inverse whole inverse sigma inverse mu. So this term is taken inside. These are two terms of the power of exponential. So these powers will be added and it will comes out to be exponential minus half 2 is taken common. Mu transpose sigma inverse mu minus mu transpose sigma inverse I minus 2 ta sigma into sigma inverse whole inverse into sigma inverse mu. Now we can take mu transpose and mu common from this. So it will become exponential minus half mu transpose I minus I 2t sigma whole inverse sigma inverse mu. This sigma inverse into sigma will give identity matrix. As here we have written the term I minus 2ta sigma inverse whole inverse, and we know that the AB whole inverse is equals to B inverse into A inverse. So this term will become sigma inverse whole inverse into I minus 2ta sigma whole inverse. So this sigma inverse whole inverse will become sigma. So it will become sigma inverse into sigma into I minus 2ta sigma whole inverse. And sigma inverse into sigma will become identity matrix. So taking mu transpose and sigma inverse mu common, this term will be obtained. Now putting it in moment generating function of x transpose Ax, it is obtained that mx transpose Ax t is equals to I minus 2t a sigma whole power minus 1 by 2 exponential minus half mu transpose I minus 2t a sigma whole inverse into sigma inverse mu. Considered it as equation 1. Now it is proved that the condition is necessary. So that let x transpose Ax follow non-central chi-square distribution with R as its degrees of freedom and half mu transpose A mu as its non-centrality parameter, where R is the rank of matrix A. Then by the uniqueness of moment generating function, the moment generating function of x transpose Ax will comes out to be 1 minus 2t whole power minus r by 2 exponential minus half mu transpose A mu 1 minus 2t whole inverse. It is equation 2. Now comparing equation 1 and equation 2, 1 minus 2t power minus r by 2 will be equals to I minus 2t a sigma power minus half. Now we put 2t is equals to u, then it will become determinant of I minus u a sigma whole power minus half is equals to 1 minus u power minus r by 2. If lambda 1, lambda 2, so on lambda n be the eigenroots of a sigma, then by using the property of determinant, it will be obtained that the first term will become 1 minus u lambda I power minus half multiplied for all I goes 1 to n. That is 1 minus u to the power minus r by 2 is equals to pi I goes 1 to n 1 minus u lambda I. Since the power of maximum power of u is r minus r by 2 in the term on left hand side, so the power of the terms of u on the right hand side will also r by 2 and other terms will comes out to be 0. That means as the term of L left hand side have highest power of u as r, thus the highest power of u on the right hand side will also be r. So n minus r values of lambda will be 0. And we can write 1 minus u power minus r by 2 is equals to pi I goes 1 to r 1 minus u lambda I. Now on comparing the coefficient of u on both the sides, we obtain that lambda I is equals to 1 for all I goes 1 to r. Thus n minus r eigenroots of a sigma are 0 and remaining r eigenroots of a sigma are 1. So using the property of idempotent matrix, we can say that a sigma is idempotent matrix of rank R. That means we have to prove that if x transpose Ax follows chi-square distribution, then a sigma is idempotent, which we have proved. Now we prove the condition that if a sigma is idempotent, then x transpose Ax follows chi-square distribution with non-centrality parameter half mu transpose A mu, for which we assume that a sigma is an idempotent matrix of rank R and lambda 1, lambda 2 dot lambda n be its eigenroots. Then moment generating function of x transpose Ax will comes out to be pi I goes 1 to n 1 minus 2t lambda I power minus half exponential minus half mu transpose summation k goes 0 to infinity 2 to t to the power k a sigma to the power k into sigma inverse mu. As a sigma matrix is idempotent, so a sigma to the power k comes out to be a sigma, putting it, and also a sigma is idempotent, so r values of lambda i's will be 1 and other n minus r values will be 0. So putting it into moment generating function, we will obtain that moment generating function of x transpose Ax is equals to pi I goes 1 to r 1 minus 2t power minus 1 by 2 exponential minus half mu transpose summation k goes 0 to infinity 2 to t to the power k a sigma into sigma inverse mu. As a sigma to the power k become a sigma due to idempotence of matrix a sigma, it can be taken outside the summation sign and sigma into sigma inverse will become identity matrix. And we know that summation k goes 0 to infinity 2 to t to the power k is a geometric progression, infinite geometric progression with first term as 1 and last term is infinity with common multiplied 2t. So its summation comes out to be 1 upon 1 minus 2t, or you can say 1 minus 2t whole inverse. So the moment generating function will become 1 minus 2t whole power minus r by 2 exponential minus half mu transpose 1 minus 2t inverse a mu. So using the uniqueness of moment generating function, it can be easily said that X transpose AX follows non-central chi-square distribution with rank of A matrix as its degrees of freedom and half mu transpose A mu as its non-centrality parameter. So the distribution of quadratic forms, the two important theorems are, first theorem is let X follows normal mu comma sigma, then X transpose AX and BX will be independently distributed if and only if B sigma A is equals to 0. For proving it, we prove the theorem into two parts, when condition is necessary and other when condition is sufficient. So let us consider the case when condition is necessary. So we assume that X transpose AX and BX are independently distributed. So for independently distributed random variables, covariance of these variables will always be 0. That means the covariance of X transpose AX and BX will be equals to 0. Now, since X follows normal mu comma sigma, then the covariance of X transpose AX and BX is given by 2B sigma A mu is equals to 0. And this relation is true for all values of mu, including mu is equals to 0 as well as mu is not equals to 0. So we can obtain the solution that B sigma A is equals to 0. Therefore, if X follows normal mu comma sigma and X transpose AX and BX are independently distributed, then B sigma A will be always be 0. Now we consider the case when condition is sufficient. That means we take that B sigma A is equals to 0. Now since X transpose AX is a quadratic form in X, and for every quadratic form we can find a matrix such that the matrix of the quadratic form is symmetric, we can take A as a symmetric matrix. As A is a symmetric matrix, it can be written as A is equals to L into L transpose, that is product of two matrices, one is the transpose of other matrix. So A can be written as L into L transpose. Now, since we have considered that base sigma A is equals to 0, putting A is equals to L into L transpose, it will be obtained that B sigma L into L transpose is equals to 0. Now we multiply it by L into L inverse, L into L transpose L inverse. Since L is a full column rank matrix, L transpose L inverse will exist. So B sigma L transpose L into L transpose L is equals to 0. Here the term L transpose L into L transpose L inverse will become identity matrix. So the term on the left hand side will remain B sigma L. So it will become B sigma L is equals to 0. And B sigma L is nothing but the covariance between Bx and X transpose L. So we can say that covariance of Bx and X transpose L are 0. That means Bx and X transpose L or you can say L transpose X are independently distributed. Since their covariances are 0 and X follows normal distribution, so they will be independently distributed. And since Bx and X transpose L are independently distributed, so Bx and X transpose L into L transpose X will also be independently distributed. So we can say that Bx and X transpose Ax are independently distributed. So we can say that the condition B sigma A is equals to 0 for is sufficient for the independence of X transpose Ax and Bx. Similarly, second theorem states that if X follows multivariate normal distribution with mean vector mu and variance covariance matrix sigma, then two quadratic forms X transpose Ax and X transpose Bx will be independently distributed if and only if B sigma A is equals to 0. So for proving it, we require the variance of X transpose Ax plus X transpose Bx. First, we prove that condition is necessary. So for that, we let that X transpose Ax and X transpose Bx are independently distributed, which said that covariance X transpose Ax and X transpose Bx is equals to 0. Now let us consider the case variance of X transpose Ax plus variance of X transpose Ax plus X transpose Bx. Now we know that variance of X plus Y can be written as variance of X plus variance of Y plus 2 times covariance of X and Y. Since covariance of X transpose Ax and X transpose Bx is 0, we can write variance of X transpose Ax plus X transpose Bx is equals to variance of X transpose Ax plus variance of X transpose Bx. Now variance of X transpose Ax plus X transpose Bx, here X transpose and X are taken as common, so it will become variance of X transpose A plus Bx. Right hand side will remain same, variance of X transpose Ax plus variance of X transpose Bx. Now substituting the values of variances, it would be obtained that variance of X transpose A plus Bx will be 2 times trace of AB into sigma, that is variance of X whole square, plus 2 plus 4 mu transpose A plus B sigma A plus B mu. In the same manner, variance of X transpose Ax can be written as 2 times trace of A sigma whole square plus 4 times mu transpose A sigma A mu. And similarly, variance of X transpose Bx will be 2 trace B sigma whole square plus 4 mu transpose B sigma B mu. Now opening the term on the left hand side, that is square term, and product terms, it will be obtained that 2 trace A sigma whole square plus 2 trace B sigma whole square plus 4 trace A B sigma A sigma plus 4 mu transpose A sigma A mu plus 4 mu transpose B sigma B mu plus 4 mu transpose A sigma B mu plus 4 mu transpose B sigma A mu. Or it is of order 1 cross 1, so 4 mu transpose A sigma B mu and 4 mu transpose B sigma A mu will be same, and it will be obtained summing together, so it will give 8 mu transpose A sigma B mu, or you can say B sigma A mu. So on the right hand side, we have done 2 trace A sigma whole square plus 4 mu transpose A sigma mu plus 2 trace B sigma whole square plus mu 4 times mu transpose B sigma B mu. So the term 2 trace A sigma square on left and right will be cancelled out. Similarly, 2 trace B sigma whole square will be cancelled out. 4 trace mu transpose A sigma A mu will be cancelled out. And 4 mu transpose B sigma B mu will also be cancelled out. So we have remained terms 4 trace B sigma A sigma plus 8 mu transpose B sigma A mu is equals to 0. Now it is true for all values of mu including mu is equals to 0. So if we take mu is equals to 0, we will obtain that 4 trace B sigma A sigma is equals to 0, or we can say B sigma A sigma is equals to 0, which implies that the term on the right, second term on the left hand side, that is mu transpose B sigma A mu is also 0. Since this relation is true for all values of mu, we can write B sigma A is equals to 0. Hence, if X transpose AX and X transpose BX are independently distributed, then B sigma A will comes out to be 0. Now we prove that condition is sufficient. So let B sigma A is equals to 0. So as X transpose AX and X transpose BX are quadratic forms in X, we can take an matrix A and matrix B as symmetric matrices. So we can write A is equals to L transpose and B as M transpose, where L and M are matrices of full column ranks. That is, rank of matrix L is equals to number of columns in L, and rank of M is equals to number of columns in M. So we can write B sigma A is equals to 0 is same as M transpose sigma L transpose is equals to 0. Since M and L are of full column rank, L transpose L inverse and M transpose M inverse also exist. So we can write it as M transpose M inverse M transpose M transpose sigma L transpose L into L transpose L inverse is equals to 0. Or this M transpose M inverse into M transpose M will become identity matrix. Similarly, L transpose L into L transpose L inverse will also become identity matrix. So it will be obtained as M transpose sigma L is equals to 0, which said that covariance M transpose X and X transpose L is equals to 0. Since X follows normal distribution, we can say that M transpose X and X transpose L are independently distributed. By using the property of normal distribution, we can say that if M transpose X and X transpose L are independently distributed, therefore X transpose M transpose X, and X transpose L transpose X will also be independently distributed, and M transpose was B and L transpose was A. So X transpose AX and X transpose BX will also be independently distributed if X follows normal mu multivariate normal distribution with mean vector mu and variance covariance matrix sigma, and B sigma A is equals to 0. So the condition is sufficient. Hence, theorem holds that if X follows multivariate normal distribution with mean mu and variance covariance matrix sigma, then X transpose AX and X transpose BX will be independently distributed if and only if B sigma A is equals to 0. Similarly, we can show that X transpose AX and X transpose BX will be independently distributed if and only if A sigma B is equal